Okay, this is a video called Men Don't Care About Your Career. 42-year-old lonely woman gets reality checked. So just a little bit of context. This woman, Jedediah, has a podcast. She's analyzing a woman who has a channel called Choosing Solo Motherhood. This woman is basically saying how she's 42 and she's trying to find a good man and she can't. And Jedediah took it upon herself to explain to her why she can't find a good man.
Situationships, a physical relationship, occasional texting, and no commitment. That's how I refer to it. That's basically what it was, and that's certainly not what I was looking for, but it seemed to be the only thing I could find. Oh man, people love to blame you as the woman. They love to blame. They just love to blame you. They love to say it's your fault. You did it to yourself. You were too picky. You were too focused on your career, which is absurd. You were, you were too this. You were too that. You weren't enough of this. I would do the same thing to myself for a long time too. I would beat myself up and constantly be trying to find an answer for why I had ended up in this place, which isn't where I wanted to be.
Okay. Now, this is sad to me because I think she's being authentic in the sense that she did not want to wind up there, right? I think it's very clear that she, at least, has convinced herself and us that she did not want this path to work out this way. But you also see a refusal to take personal responsibility here. So I was feeling sorry for her. And then she says things like, well, the idea that I would be focused on my career and that would be a problem is just absurd. It's not absurd. It's not absurd. If you have some degree of self-awareness, it's not absurd. Because if you had your head buried in that career all of those years and you were given time to that career, you couldn't also be given time to a search for a man. And also that guys don't care about your career. So you're prioritizing something that guys don't prioritize in you. So you just have to be realistic about that. And I think oftentimes women will look at like, oh, what would I want in a woman, because they're thinking, well, what would I want in a man? And they don't step back and say, well, it's not what I would want. It's what guys want. And guys don't want the same things that I want. So I may be thinking that, oh, my career is such a, that's a top of the heap, gold star. And a guy's like, yeah, I don't care what you do.
The fact that she's saying that this woman is making a mistake by focusing on what she would want in a man versus what men want in women, this is the epitome of pick-me, male-centered behavior. Why is it up to women to always worry about what men want? What do men want? We all see how much men contradict themselves constantly. If you wear makeup, they say, oh, I like a woman that doesn't wear makeup. If you don't wear makeup, oh, she looks like garbage. Why would she ever leave the house like that? They say they don't want women with high body counts, but then when you go on dates with them and you don't want to sleep with them, they're mad. Oh, come on, stop being a prude. They say they don't want women with the weaves and the lashes and all that stuff, but as soon as they get the chance, that's the woman that they're hitting on.
We don't like the hair weave. We don't like the eyelashes, the fake eyelashes.
Ooh, friend, I like that. Let me try. Just let me get in the character real quick. All right, let's get the knuckles real good. Get in there. All right, check. All right, perfect. I'm giving you the perspective of a man. We don't like graduating from college. We don't like going to therapy. We don't like replacing drawers that we've had since we graduated from high school 20 years ago. We don't like washing our booties. We don't like to address the fact that the only thing that is receding faster than America's economy is our hairlines. We don't like being alive, seeing as we are the highest growing demographic of people who aren't alive themselves.
So this refusal to just accept what is and the differences between men and women leaves women very much alone. Does she look happy to you? No. She looks like she's a woman that has suffered quite a bit as a result of a lot of her own choices. She's choosing to put those out on guys. She's choosing to say, well, I blamed myself, but, people say I'm too picky. Well, were you? I don't know. I don't know her. Were you picky? Were you being very picky about the guys? Did you have an accurate perception of self? Were you one of those women out there like, I'm a 10, I'm a 10? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know.
So are we not supposed to be picky? Are we supposed to just lower our standards and say, oh, well, he checks 4 out of the 10 boxes, so I'm going to date him? Why? Have you heard the way men talk about women? This is not a joke. I literally had a friend who told me that he was super attracted to a woman, and then he saw her wearing shorts and she had fat calves, and he immediately was no longer attracted to her. I am not joking. It's crazy when men say, oh, you know, women are so picky. They need this, that, and the other thing. And men are so easy. I mean, we just have a few things that we want, and why is it so hard to get it? You have low standards. That's what that is. Like this woman said, you don't care about her career. Men literally don't care about anything about you outside of what they can get. So, do you have a big old booty? Do you have big boobs? Do you cook? This is what men want. And they say it out loud. If I went to a man right now and I said, you have low standards, all you care about is what the woman can do for you, they'd be like, oh, no, that's not it. That's not it. Okay, well, let's read some of the comments. Dwight Brown says, number 1, are you nice? Number 2, are you feminine? Number 3, are you kind? Number 4, are you peaceful? Number 5, are you supportive? Bro, really? Are you supportive? Probably not. Because you're looking for somebody to support you, not the other way around. You want her to be feminine. Are you masculine? Are you paying all the bills? Are you building me a house? Are you changing the oil in my car so I don't have to take it to Firestone? No, probably not. You know what men really mean when they say, are you peaceful? It means, are you going to shut the hell up and let me do whatever I want, however I want, and not give me no lip about it? That's what are you peaceful means. Here's another one. Blitzterls says, absolutely 100% true. As a man, I don't care about a woman's education, career, and being well-traveled. In fact, those are more negatives than positives. I care that they are feminine, loyal, easygoing, and not overweight. Ladies, I mean, I don't even need to say anything. I don't know why I'm talking right now. All you have to do is listen to men. They're literally telling you they want a slave that's not fat, according to Blitzterls. Techno Anima says, as a man, I need a warm meal, a warm smile, a warm heart. Sorry you were taught to hate to provide these simple things. You turned away from your fathers and uncles, called them mean words to cleave with the woke crowd. What does that mean? Enjoy your wall, lady. 220 men liked that. Ooh! Molahi 6880 says, you need to do a lot more than that. That is a bare minimum start. The trouble, of course, is that few American women want to even provide this bare minimum, and I guess they don't really have to with so many simps chasing after them. Oh boy. Mr. Nightfish says, fit, feminine, friendly. That's all men ask for, really. That is such a low bar, and yet so few can clear it these days. A lot even go 0 for 3. So Mr. Nightfish cannot find a fit woman, a feminine woman, or a friendly woman. If you are not meeting one friendly woman, that's because you're an asshole.
But self-reflect, because it is a lot about you. It's not all on you, obviously. There's, other people that come into the mix here and play a role. Anytime you have an interaction between two people, it's a give and take. But if you're saying that you can't see why prioritization of a career for a woman could be a problem in terms of creating a delay in her finding someone, then you're just not being realistic. And refusal to take personal responsibility for those things is what gets women in trouble. And also women watching this, like, I don't want some 25-year-old who's buried deep in her career watching that video and having the lesson be like, oh yeah, see, she said it wasn't me, so I'm obsessed with my career, but no, you need to hear that it will upset the direction you're going in. It will create a delay, and you might wind up like her. You might. Now, if that's okay with you, fine. But you can't be in two places at once. You can't.
Does this woman realize how many husbands cheat? How many husbands have that midlife crisis and dump their wives to get somebody half their age. Like, this is the dumbest advice I've heard in a long time, and it makes me extra upset because it comes from a woman. The worst thing that a woman can do is not set herself up financially. Let me just make this clear. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. The whole point of the Decentering Men movement is that women should have the choice to do whatever they want, not what society tells them to do, not what the patriarchy tells them to do. So if that means getting married, do it. If that means having kids, do it. If that means being a stay-at-home mom, do it. But people who choose the stay-at-home mom route, who choose to get married young, and they want to have their husbands be the breadwinner, they have to understand that they are taking a serious risk in the case that that man starts treating you improperly. Because what happens is a lot of husbands won't actually divorce their wives if they're unhappy. They'll just start cheating. And they're actually more likely to cheat and start treating you like garbage if they know financially you're 100% dependent on them.
There was an interesting question that came up before we go to 350 today on Twitter. I think it was somebody had asked, I wish I had started. I won't be able to pull it up now anyway because we don't. I have my phone on airplane mode. But there was something a woman was saying, like, can you be a career mom? Can you be career driven and be a good wife and mom at the same time? You can't do everything at once. Something is going to suffer. So something has to be the priority, right? If you decide, for example, me right now, it's a perfect example. Like, I'm doing this show, right? And it's growing and it's doing great. But my priority is Hartley, my baby, and my husband and my family. That is number one for me. So that's why you don't see me on here every day. And that's why when I get invites to speak, if there's travel involved, I really weigh that because I don't like to leave my kid. That is number one. Now, do some components of my career trajectory take a little longer as a result of that or take a backseat? Yes. And I'm fine with that. Now, if I flipped it and every time somebody called me from LA or New York and said, oh, let's work together on this, and I ran, then maybe, I'd have, some more subs on the channel and my face would be here and I'd have a viral moment here. But who would suffer? My kid would suffer and my, family dynamic would suffer. So that's not okay with me. So all I'm saying is you got to pick, you got to pick your priority, but just know something's going to suffer. You can't, this idea of like, oh, you can be everywhere all at once is complete garbage.
What she's saying is completely untrue. This is probably why she's saying this. The reason why a lot of women can't do it all, it's not because you can't do it. It's because most of the women that say that don't have any support. Their husbands are not helping, and they're putting it all on the woman to say, no, if the kids need to be taken care of, that's your job. I'm off working. I'm off playing golf. I'm off seeing my side piece. She totally is falling in line with that patriarchal brainwashing. She's saying, I'm the mom, I'm the wife, and that comes first, and my career comes second, which is her choice. But she needs to stop the gaslighting and saying that women can't do it all. The only time women can't do it all is when they're not being supported.
It's only 24 hours in a day. Something has to be your priority. So can you have a career and be a good mom and what? Yes, but which one are you prioritizing? Is that kid in daycare? What are you doing? Something's going to have to give here. You just can't do it all. That's the honest answer that most of modern women and modern feminists won't tell you. Okay, let's go to 350 on that clip. This is where it gets sticky.
But this still bothers me that so many of us are in this boat. So many of us who are well-educated and well-traveled, and I would think that we have a lot to offer as women to a partner, but yet we've ended up here. And I kind of would like to figure out why that is. And I'm moving away from this idea that it's something wrong with us, which I thought for 20 straight years that it was something wrong with me, because there are so many women in this situation, talented and accomplished. I'm like, there's got to be something else going on.
Okay.
I'm not going to blame them.
What's going on is you're brain dead about it. That's what's going on. Your refusal to see that all the things you just cited are things guys don't care about. You have been spending the last 20 years building up a career, saying, oh, I want to be well educated and well traveled and accomplished, and a guy doesn't care about that stuff.
The reason why I wanted to show you guys this video is it's proof that men only care about what you can do for them. That's what this woman is saying. All of the men in the comments are agreeing, and they don't care at all about your successes, your hard work. None of that matters to them. It's really, really strange to me how you can say, oh, guys don't care about that, but not at the same time look at the fact that that's a problem. It's either severe insecurity or severe, like low level, low standards behavior out of men to literally say, I do not care about any of the work that you've done on yourself. You've become educated, you've been ambitious, you've made more income, you've done all these things to better yourself. I don't care what's for dinner. So we can just look at this and go, wow, do you want to date a man that looks at you and goes, I don't care about your degree? Men will always find fault no matter what you do, no matter how you look, no matter how you act. There's always going to be something wrong. So changing and caring what men think, it's a complete waste of time.
I'm not saying you can't find a guy here and there that will, but the vast majority of men aren't looking at you and saying, oh, I want to decide whether I want to date her. Is she well-traveled? Is she accomplished? Is she well-educated? No, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for, first of all, are they attracted to you? Are you feminine? Are you nurturing? Are you loyal? Are you committed? Do you have a softness to you? Are you peaceful to be around and happy and joyful and bring that energy into a home?
All of these things that men want are basically, how can you service them? Can you be just like my mom, but a mom that I can sleep with?
So all of this stuff, and by the way, oftentimes all of this stuff she's talking about, not only is it not of interest to men, but it hardens you. Well-educated. What does that mean? That you went through a school system and then you went to graduate school? I didn't come out of graduate school softer. I came out harder and more tired and more aggravated.
According to her, being smart is bad. I can't understand how this could be explained in any other way. She's saying that women should not go to grad school because you become harder. What that really means is the more women learn, the less likely they are to put up with men's crap. 6193 Drizzle says, when I hear well-educated, I think great, she's got a shit ton of student loans. When I hear well-traveled, I think, while I was in my late 20s grinding and bought my first home, she was having croissants in Paris with her friends. AKA has $900 in her savings account. I'm all set. How is saying she was having croissants in Paris with her friends like, imagine trying to use that as an insult. He sounds jealous, if you ask me. I mean, he sounds jealous that he was not having any fun in his 20s, working himself to death, and other people were out here having fun. It just sounds like jealousy. Response to that, of course, and she traveled well on a lot of male strangers. Like, why would we date them? What are you offering?
So just like, it's changing you in the wrong ways. And it took me a while to really understand that. I was very lucky in the sense that I naturally, truthfully, wasn't somebody who embraced these high-powered, ambitious settings. And I know it's odd because you see The View and you see, but I wasn't gunning for that.
So she's basically one of these women that's like, I don't want to lead. I don't want to make any decisions. I just want to be told what to do. I want to submit to a man and have it. Okay, fine. But why are you telling women who actually have more ambition? I'm sorry, lady, but you don't sound very ambitious to me. And the fact that you're trying to fault women for that is crazy.
But these women who are gunning for corporate jobs and CEO titles and even the idea of well-traveled never appealed to me. It just sounded like a headache. It's like a lot to juggle when you're traveling. It's too much, multitask. I'm like, I'm good to just be at home and open the window and look at the beautiful grass and water a plant. I'm a very simple woman.
Thank you. I'm glad she said it and she just agreed with me. She's a simple woman. She's not very ambitious. Her whole mindset is, I'm a woman, I'm here to please and serve and do for others. I sense a lot of insecurity in her. Why would she go through all this trouble to make these pick-me videos and cater to men unless she wanted to bring all of these other women down to her level?
I like it. I like simplicity. And so all of these things that she was doing, I mean, well-traveled, and if anything, a guy's going to be like, oh, she traveled the world without me? I guess I don't have much left to show her.
Classic male insecurity. And I can't understand why this woman is saying it's okay. A man who looks at you and says, oh, you did that without me. First of all, sir, you weren't around when I did all this stuff. You were off doing whatever you were doing, playing video games in your mom's basement. This is such an insecure thing for a man to think. A man who thinks like that is the same man who's going to try to keep you from going out with your friends. He's not going to like the fact that you're having fun with anybody outside of him. These are the worst men to date. Intellectual men do not want a dum-dum sitting next to them at the dinner table. They don't. Men who want to control a woman, to steer her in whatever direction that they see fit, to manipulate them, to gaslight them. Those are the men that want women with as little experience as possible so that they can use them, mold them, and then when they're done with them, they get rid of them.
Oh, okay, she's well educated. All right, fine. Cool. I guess I can hold a great conversation with her. Awesome. But maybe. Or has she been programmed in a weird way? Sometimes well-educated means that you've been indoctrinated. It's not even a plus to me anymore.
More gaslighting. It's exactly the opposite. Maybe she's been deprogrammed because she's well-educated, and that is not good for men. If she's been deprogrammed from all this patriarchal crap, the man is not going to be able to manipulate her and use her and gaslight her and do whatever he wants with her.
So there's that. Accomplished? How? Are you accomplished in the ways that would appeal to a man, or accomplished in the ways that would appeal to a woman if she was looking for a man? You know, what are you doing here? So and talented. Talented how? Talented in... I think a guy would truthfully rather have a female who was fantastic at taking care of the home and it was clean and beautiful and you organize those closets like a pro and you take care of the baby because you want to and you're passionate about all those things than someone who was talented as a, I don't know, graphics designer. No disrespect to graphics designers, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Men want a slave. That's exactly what you're saying. And thank you for saying it out loud. And I'm so glad that the men in the comments are agreeing with you. So ladies, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Do you guys want to drop out of school and cancel your trip to China, cancel your trip to Paris, and find some guy that you can wash the skid marks out of his underwear, like really well? Is that, oh, I'm sorry. Like that sounds way better. Sorry, I guess I was confused.
You're prioritizing things that guys aren't, and then you're sad when you're alone. So it's a huge disconnect, and you've got a growing number of like 39, 38, 40, 41, 42-year-old women who are miserable and alone, and they're like, I can't wrap my head around it because you still won't see that you've been brainwashed, and you've been living in a way that repels instead of attracts the opposite sex. If you like the short clip and want to watch another.
So I'm really happy this lady made this video because to me, she just proved all the reasons why women should continue to decenter men. The fact that she's trying to gaslight women into believing that their careers are a waste of time, traveling is a waste of time, education is a waste of time because men would rather have you be a really good cook and a really good mom and really good at organizing closets. Videos like this and then reading the men's comments really prove that all of us that are decentering men are doing the best thing we possibly could for ourselves. Of course, thank you guys for watching and add your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe and turn on all notifications.